I was looking at the recent report on doing business. Uganda has been identified as among the 10 most preferred investment destination in Africa. So again, to approach the government and the people of Uganda that you are continuing to lead in terms of investment and doing business in the region. So we thought it is important again to showcase some of the investment opportunities here in Uganda, but also across the region in terms of what has the region done better than other regions. What are those sectors that we have enormous potential? We'll be looking at a number of sectors where the region has both comparative and competitive advantage. Agriculture and agro-processing has been one of the sectors that has been identified. So the event, as the Jenny highlighted, will be held here in Uganda at Speke Resort Munyonyo from 31st August to 1st September. Again, as Jane mentioned, the theme is private sector driven growth, and looking at how the private sector has been able to support or promote the growth of the region. And I thought it is important to say that the region, EAC region, has been one of the resilient regions among other regions, among the lakes. We have 8 regional economic communities in Africa. Some you know them, COMESA, SADC, ECAS, ECOWAS, and others, IGAD and others, but the East Africa has been very resilient against external shocks. And its resilience is anchored on 3 important pillars. One of the pillar is public-private partnership or public-private dialogue. The second pillar is our deeper commitment to regional integration, and I want to appreciate our leader that despite some challenges, but there has been a coordinated and a coherent effort in terms of the commitment to the regional integration agenda. But above all, the purpose of and the rationale of this event is to look at the prosperity. How do we've done all this, how do we continue to enhance business environment as the EAC, as the EABC, and how do we grow prosperity through trade and investment? So those are some of the areas and insights we are going to be working on, and I'm happy that RSM is our partner because most of our discussion has been revolving around taxes, the impact of taxes on our growth agenda, and how do we enhance compliance level, both from the tax revenues or tax bodies, but also from the business perspective. What can we do to ensure that there is an openness, transparency, there is accountability between the private sector and the tax bodies in terms of understanding what are those taxes that would fuel growth, but also those taxes that are hindering growth. So there will be a deep dive in terms of the discussion, in terms of engagement. We have excellent, eminent panelists who will be talking around those thematic areas. But other innovation during the business summit has been an issue related to climate change and waste management. We'll be having a dedicated session on climate change and its effect on our economies. And also we'll be looking at the women and youth in business. As you are well aware that EAC, almost 70% of our population, it's a very young, dynamic energetic, vibrant population. 70% are less than 35 years old. So we need to ensure that we capitalize, harness the potential of our youth and women in business. How do we create environment for youth and women to thrive and generate prosperity? Finally, another interesting area will be looking at the level of our preparedness as regards to the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area. As we are talking about our wider market of 1.3 billion population, a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion US dollars. What are we taking to that market? Do we have the product? Do we have the services? Are we ready to compete with big giants? Those are some of the discussions that will inform the summit.
I would like most of all to thank the East African Business Council for initiating this very significant summit. As Uganda Investment Authority, we are indeed privileged and with pleasure to support the East African Business Council Business and Investment Summit. Why? Because business and investment is our business. We look forward to having all of you register. We look forward to Ugandans, our brothers in the East African region, our brothers in the African region to take part, and in the worldwide, globally, to take advantage of this summit. We welcome everyone. We will support you through the processes of investment and doing business in Uganda.
It is going to give us a big opportunity for us as the private sector to look at what we have achieved over the years, what has gone very well, what do we need to improve upon, how do we focus to get into the future. So for us, as the Ugandan private sector, we, the EABC, we represent the EABC in Uganda, with the focal point. So it will be important for us to generate engagement, to generate topics for which discussions are going to be held on the regional level in the various thematic plenaries that will actually be discussed. So it is a very important opportunity for Uganda to host a meeting like this.
So there are so many aspects of competition law that will touch on not just the competition, but on people. So that also needs to be considered. I do empathize with my colleague here in terms of the hassles and the safe borders and the rocket health. Having said that, if these have been successful, can we draw lessons from them? What have they done to navigate the complexities that are faced by other startups? Sometimes we shouldn't blame the system. I'm always an optimist. Sometimes we need to work within that system to see if we can survive and make hay, as it were, within that process that has been set up. So all these startups, are they clear in their strategy? Are they clear in the skill set that is required? Yes, there are areas where the way it is structured in this country, particularly on the tax that has come in, the government is looking for money. Digital startups have grown, so they are always tempted to go after this market as well. As you know, many of the big digital companies, Zoom, Uber, all of these have actually registered in this market to pay their taxes. Unfortunately, it all comes back to us, the consumers. All these Netflix you're watching, you're actually paying the tax that is being levied by the authorities. But then again, these companies are making money from Uganda, and therefore it is only right that they contribute towards the income that they're making from this country. So it is you have to look at it 50-50 both ways. What can we ourselves do to support the startups, but at the same time
Munyonyo.